What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. Let me title my garden surprise. As you know, all this is from seed. Well, not seed, because I did buy my blackberries on clearance from the stores. But check this out. So let's go. I got a garden surprise I'm going to show you at the end. So watch the garden surprise, or just skip to the end if you want. But there's my blackberries, right? My blackberry bush. That's a baby of my original blackberry bush. Now these are my tomatoes, but you look, I didn't cut them back. So my tomatoes are from seed, right? This is a thorned blackberry bush I got on clearance for like $1, right? So this is garbage, I could throw this away. That's a thorned blackberry bush I got for $1. Now this is a Campari tomato plant that I started in the basement that I just threw outside. But this is, I want to say it's a yellow pear tomato plant. But look how big that sucker is. Look how big that is from seed, right? But let's see, there's tomatoes on it. So yeah, this will probably be a yellow pear tomato, right? They're starting to come out. They're starting to come out. But this is my surprise that we'll come back to it. If you don't know what that is, we're going to come back to that, right? And there's 3 of them. So here's another tomato plant. This one grew by itself. This one grew wild. This one I transplanted here, so it's trying to come back, but that just grew wild from last year. This is a blackberry bush. This is a little weed trying to grow in a blackberry bush. But you see, I mean blueberries. See? Blueberry bush. This is a blueberry bush. This is the second year in the blueberry bush. Right? I don't know what this is. Okay, this could be part of the surprise. That right there is growing on its own, right? But this right here is sweet potato. Sweet potato, sweet potato, sweet potato. And there's 2 big onions growing in there too. Look at this right here. I tried propagating my asparagus and it grew 2 years and then froze the 3rd year. But look at this tomato, a potato plant. This big right here is a potato plant that I didn't plant. But look how this root. So this plant is all the way over here. But look how far the root goes. All the way here. And the root is actually in the ground right here. And then it comes up. And the plant is over here. So I'm excited to see how big those get. And I'm hoping I get a whole pot bottom full of sweet potatoes right there. So there's another potato plant. This is rue plant. Rue. That's another Campari. But check this Campari tomato plant out. Those are Campari tomatoes. You see them? They're Campari tomatoes made from store-bought tomatoes. Those are store-bought tomatoes that I pulled the seeds out of. And now I have my own Campari tomatoes. This is I don't know if I'm gonna take it aside. That's an avocado tree, but it's doing like super good. And here's another wild tomato plant growing right here. Another wild tomato plant growing. Check this out though. That was the original blackberry plant that I really didn't think it was gonna make it. But then there's a blackberry baby right there, blackberry baby right there, and a blackberry baby back there. Those are all blackberry babies, right? And this, I'll show you, this is a cucumber plant. Now I did plant cucumber seeds. This is a cucumber plant, but it started really late, okay? This is a big mess. There's a tomato, there's lettuce, see, it's romaine, tomatoes, but this is actually an onion bin, and it's gotta be weeded because there's tons of onions in there. Just like there's tons of onions in here, but weren't weeded, right? That's another blackberry back there. Now this is a grape tomato plant, I believe, that just came up wild, right? Came up wild, a grape tomato plant that is in the onion bin. That's in the onion bin. And look at the tomatoes. This is a grape tomato plant that's in the onion bins. Now here's my sage. The sage is growing completely insane wild. This is another avocado tree. I'm so upset the mint didn't come in too good, but that's mint down there. That's another tomato plant that was growing in the basement that I just threw it outside. But check this out. Look at all these serrano peppers. So many serrano peppers. It's unreal how much serrano peppers came. That was a garbage pick serrano plant. Raspberry, wild tomato, another serrano plant. This was another garbage picked serrano plant. Look at all those serranos coming in. And this was garbage picked. Gotta watch the video on how I garbage picked those. I garbage picked this plant and look at the big blooms on that. The big blooms, that was garbage picked. And it took 3 years to bloom after I garbage picked it. And it's beautiful, right? And look, there's a tomato plant trying to come in there. This was more romaine lettuce, right? I think this is a pepper plant, but we'll check it out. More romaine lettuce. Raspberry plants. This is 3 raspberry plants that just come up wild. Look at all these onions. These are all purple onions. Purple onions in here. So let's go back. Yo, that's my hostas that I maintain and trim off my sidewalk. Now let's go back over here. Oh, these are pineapple plants. Pineapples, pineapples, pineapples. Man, let's go to the surprise. Let's go to the surprise. Check this out. So these climbing up I thought were cucumbers. I really did think these were cucumbers. Then I looked at them and I've never planted them. Can you see back there? Where is it at? That's a cantaloupe. They moved the leaf out there. Right back there. That's a cantaloupe. There's 2 cantaloupes growing side by side with each other. So I can switch it around. I worm compost is what I do. I worm compost. I do have this compost bin. All I do is throw stuff in there, and I don't even turn it. I threw some worms in there, right? But I have my worm compost bin in the basement that stays inside, and all the kitchen scraps that we have, the foods and all that, we throw into the compost bin. But the worms don't eat all the seeds. The worms don't eat all the seeds. So when I reuse my compost dirt, I get surprises that grow up, and a lot of those tomatoes and potatoes or whatever come out of the compost bin. And apparently some of the dirt I used had cantaloupe seeds in it. So this year I'm actually getting cantaloupes. So stay tuned, we'll check those out. But check this out. This was a surprise also. I had no idea this is growing out there. So this was a cucumber that was growing out there. And I'm glad I taught my daughter how to garden. This is from my daughter's garden. These are from my daughter's garden. It stays in a part of Indiana. And I know because I've worked away from my house that way. They're 2 weeks ahead of us. So we should be getting our stuff pretty soon. Subscribe, like, and share.